All right, welcome into another episode of Behind the Mic in the SEC. I'm Bree Andrus, joined by Courtney Lane Brewer. She covers the University of Kentucky. Courtney, how are you?
I am great. It's a good day when I get to talk to an LSU person. It means I get to see a little bit of purple and gold in my life.
Yes, Courtney is an LSU grad. We actually worked together at Tiger TV when she was still there, and then
You took over my job, right?
yes, I did. I did take
Ah,
over your job as a producer. But yeah, Courtney now covers the University of Kentucky. She's a Kentucky native. So what is that like being able to cover your hometown team?
I tell people a lot growing up as a Kentucky football fan is I had to watch some of the worst football I've ever seen in my entire life in the early 2000s. And so now to see them actually compete in the SEC East and make bowl runs, it's very full circle. And you think of Kentucky, you think of basketball. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Kentucky basketball fan, but I grew up a Kentucky football fan. My very first LSU game, it was the year LSU won in '07, and we went down there and Kentucky lost 49-0. Like that's how bad it was when I
Yeah.
was growing up a Kentucky football fan, but I just loved it. And so when I got this offer at WYMT, so I'm actually 2 hours from Lexington. My main beat is high school, but when they told me you're also going to get to cover every home Kentucky football and basketball game, I was like, hand me the pen because this is my team. I bleed Kentucky blue, and it's everything I've known my entire life.
And has sports reporting always been something you've wanted to do, like growing up as a fan?
Oh yeah. So my dad was in the industry. My dad worked in Nashville until he realized that you make no money on TV. And I to watch him do it and to listen to him tell stories my entire life, I was like, that is something I want to do. I want to be down on the sidelines. And then I have this like crystal clear memory of when they started the SEC network in I think it was 14, seeing the commercial being like, oh, I'm gonna work there because the SEC is just it's everything I know and love. I grew up a Kentucky fan. I went to LSU. I've now been to 5 of the SEC football stadiums, 2 of the basketball facilities, and it's just what I've known and loved my entire life. And I grew up in theater, and so TV was a natural transition. And so sports is just something that has always been in my family. And so when it was like, okay, what are you going to do with your life? I was like, well, obviously, I'm going to go talk about sports.
And other than the fact that it's your home team, what do you enjoy about covering University of Kentucky? What's the fan
Mhm.
base like? What's the atmosphere like with
Yeah.
Kentucky?
Well, I'll start with basketball because that's what we're coming off of. Rupp Arena never gets old. I had the opportunity to actually graduate from high school at Rupp Arena. All of the schools in Lexington do. And so, I mean, I've been going to Rupp Arena. I know the ins and outs of Rupp Arena, but it never gets old. When you walk out of the tunnel and see 23,000 people in Kentucky Blue, there is nothing like it, whether it's North Florida or whether it's Tennessee. People love Kentucky football, and it is such a brand. Now, there are a lot of, especially this past year in football and basketball, there are a lot of fair weather Kentucky fans, but people like my family and people who have been around Kentucky their entire lives, they are not fair weather fans. These people aren't going anywhere. These people know to ride the course because it's been worse than this and it's going to get better than this. Kentucky fans are ride or die. And especially to watch, like I said, watch Kentucky compete with Georgia, Florida. We beat LSU has been really special. And to watch it pay off for all these fans has been really neat. And to be one of those fans at heart, as people in our industry, we try to bury some of that, but you got to be a fan a little bit.
And what was that like for you having your worlds collide whenever Kentucky and LSU played at Kroger Field?
I was just like the week leading up to it, everyone in the office was like, you ready? You ready? And I was like, Kentucky is going to win. LSU was on a down year. Kentucky was on an up year. I was like, Kentucky is going to win. And it was just so special to see like the the auxiliary staff at LSU come to town, to get to see Emily Dixon, who works for LSU and does kind of what we do, to get to see Giovanni Lamani, one of my best friends in the world who does hype videos for LSU. To get to see all those people was really special. But in my heart, I'm like, we're going to win. And so I went over stood with LSU during the national anthem so I could say in the home of the Tigers. And then it was kind of just go time. And I knew that Kentucky was going to win, and they did. And it was awesome. But I was kind of like, okay, good game, guys. See you soon. I'll try to come to Baton Rouge. Bye.
So what do you think sets the SEC apart from every other conference, just from your experiences with those two
How
schools?
much time do you have? I mean, so for some context, my boss is a Big 12 guy. My sister almost went to a Big 10 school. And my dad and I are sitting over here like, how could you ever leave this? You know, in the SEC, we love big and we fight hard. But at the end of the day, we really do care for each other. Even in a rivalry as fierce as Kentucky, Tennessee, or Alabama, LSU, you're going to have a couple where the husband went to one school and the wife went to the other school. And you're going to have a kid who decides to be rebellious and goes to the other school. And they're still going to come to the tailgate, and they're going to get hazed, but they're going to be accepted. And it's the Southern hospitality of it all is what makes it so special. And the fact that it goes back as deep as it does. And the fact that it's from sport to sport. I mean, look at this past year in athletics. LSU women's basketball won the national championship, which, like, are you still reeling from that? Because I still can't believe that happened.
It's all a blur, honestly. It was
I
so
still can't believe it
crazy.
happened.
I mean, coming from like a sports fan, it was like amazing to watch. But then like coming from like a sports director that was like facilitating like
Yeah,
reporters in like each area, it was probably like the most stressful few days of my life because it was such a quick turnaround. It
I
was like
just still
when,
can't believe it happened.
yeah, it was absolutely insane. Like I didn't hit me until after it was all over because it was
That's
like,
how I was in 2019 with
yeah.
these boys.
Oh yeah, it was
Um,
like win, come home, do the at home celebration, like 2 days later parade, and then like
oh, and
more.
also you're in school. And
Yeah.
also you're in school.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I had tests all in between that.
No.
It was crazy.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
But okay, so LSU wins the women's national championship. You have Alabama and Arizona, or not Arizona, hello, Arkansas, make it to the deep levels of the men's tournament. An SEC team is gonna win the College World Series this year. I think that's safe to say. If it's not LSU, it's gonna be South Carolina. If it's not South Carolina, it's gonna be Florida. Softball is historically an SEC sport. Gymnastics, 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four, if you count Oklahoma, are SEC teams. The fact that the SEC is a football conference, air quotes, but is not limited to football at the end of the day. It's so special. And that's one of my favorite things about it.
Excuse me. What would you say, since you've gotten your career started, has been your biggest accomplishment?
You know, I won my first award, and that was really cool.
That's
That
awesome.
to have a little trophy with my name on it, even though it was like, so the way it works is like there's a category of the big cities in Kentucky, Lexington and Louisville, and then there's the small cities like where I work. And to win one of the small city awards, it was like, well, but I have a little trophy with my name on it, and that's really cool. But I guess I would just say going to Kentucky, Tennessee, when Kentucky could have won that game and didn't, that was amazing. I thought Neyland Stadium would be like Death Valley. I have to go back. It was amazing. But to be a part of Kentucky basketball, to be a part of something that is so historic and has touched so many lives, I think that's got to be it, because it goes so deep and has meant so much to so many people. And to be a little part of Kentucky basketball, I mean, is amazing.
And what would you say is your ultimate career goal? Like if you had to draw up the perfect job for yourself and do it for the rest of your life, what
Oh,
would
yeah. I mean, I want to be on the SEC network. You've heard me talk about the SEC. It's what I know and what I love. And I love to meet new people. I love more than just football. This is just what I know. And to have an opportunity like that to be on the sidelines during football season, but then also go to the SEC tournament for basketball and then go to Hoover and then go to Four on the Floor, like that would just be my dream, because I'm a Kentucky fan and an LSU grad, but I love all 14, soon to be 16 of these schools. And the chance to cover any of them would be a dream.
And I'm getting ready to graduate. We talk from time to time, but is there any advice that you would give to an upcoming graduate getting ready to go in the job market?
I just pull up our text thread.
No, literally.
You just can't give up. It is so hard. But I have a little quip that I say all the time where I say, I am not going to be the girl that they say got out of TV. I refuse to be that girl. And you just can't give up. It's hard. You're a woman. You're a woman. There's 3 jobs and your friends are applying for the other 2. You're going to work late nights. It's what we were just talking about that Cindy says. You're going to work late nights. You're going to miss holidays, all of that. But you just can't give up because it is going to pay off, especially if you duck your head and keep working. And that's been the biggest thing that I've learned getting my start in a smaller market where I still get to cover Kentucky. You just can't give up.
Yeah.
I know that's so cheesy, but
Yeah. One last question. If you had to choose between a Kentucky basketball game in a sold out Rupp Arena or an LSU Alabama game in a sold out Tiger Stadium, what are you choosing?
LSU, Alabama.
100%.
LSU, Alabama. Because going to a football game is at the end of the day better than going to a basketball game. I can watch a basketball game on TV. If I'm watching LSU Alabama on TV, I'm going to be kicking myself the entire time. No, it's absolutely LSU Alabama. Hands down.
Yeah, that was the most insane, mind-blowing experience. Like that was probably like my favorite memory from all of college was like November 5th, 2022. Like I was on the field that whole game, saw so many celebrities, which was
I
like
can't
really
imagine.
cool. And then like
I
being
only got
in
one
Detroit.
LSU Alabama game.
You covered it?
Because
Covered LSU Alabama? Or
no,
what?
I only went to one as a fan. I was supposed to go, you know this story. I was supposed to go the national championship year to Tuscaloosa, wasn't allowed to go. And then my senior year, I was supposed to work it for CBS. And it got rescheduled to after Thanksgiving. I had already gone home.
Yeah.
So I only got one LSU Alabama game in Tiger Stadium. So for me, it's LSU Florida. The national championship year is my best LSU game that I've been to so far.
I agree. That was a really good game with the whole like Gator Chomp and everything.
And have you heard me talk about that day? I shadowed College Game Day. So I woke
Yeah.
up, I went to a formal the night before, woke up at like 4 a.m., walked to the quad, walked to the student union, did all of that, did College Game Day, went home to the Theta house, slept for like 30 minutes. My roommate comes in and is like, you want to go tailgate? And I was like, okay. And then we won.
I know, because I did College Game Day that morning too. So I was up really early. Like I think I was up for like almost 24 hours straight. Because like
yeah.
it was homecoming too. So like everybody wants to go out
Oh
after.
my God, it was homecoming.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I love LSU, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Courtney, for joining Behind the Mic in the SEC. Tune in next week. Next episode, we'll cover the University of Tennessee. Thanks, Courtney.
Ooh, not Tennessee. Thank you so much, Brie. Of course, I'm always happy to talk to you.